After 4 years of our military looking like this, focusing in on this.
Issue of critical race theory, etc. I'll obviously have to get much smarter on whatever the theory is that we train and we understand. And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
And tragically seen wearing this on multiple occasions. America's military is finally back, appointing Major Pete Hegseth to be our Secretary of Defense.
We're not going to the Munich Security Conference. We're instead going to Poland to see the troops out there, and we're going to Germany to see EUCOM and AFRICOM. I would much rather talk to troops than go to cocktail parties. That's my job.
That sentiment is exactly what we need, not only in our military, but in our government as a whole, as too many of our public servants are more focused in on accelerating their own personal ascension than actually serving the job function they're in. I saw it in the private sector all the time. Corporate leadership making decisions based on Excel sheets and consultant projections, having absolutely zero understanding on what's happening at the ground level. But long-term success means nothing when they're always 12 months away from applying to another company, as they aren't there to actually succeed, they're just there to bolster their resume. And that's exactly how we get military leaders focusing in on white rage, as that may make them more able to navigate conversations at cocktail parties surrounded by ultra-left politicians, but it literally does them nothing when it comes to defeating China's increasing military ability, and probably just makes us worse off if he simply did nothing. So I guess we should be grateful we finally got Hegseth.
One of the dumbest phrases in military history is, "Our diversity is our strength." Our diversity is not our strength. Our unity and our shared purpose is our strength. And the Pentagon is excited to get back to that core mission. It's happening rapidly. The services are responding, and those that don't want to respond can work somewhere else. So diversity, equity, inclusion will not be a part of the Defense Department.
As he's actually out there shoulder to shoulder with our soldiers, where they're not out there wearing dog masks, they're getting prepared to fight wars. And the memes about America being back are hilarious, where if this was an ad for a weight gain pill, I'd be ordering it. I almost don't want to cut back to me after seeing all that creatine, but for that to even cross my mind reminds me of what our military should actually be. Our fighting forces should be physically intimidating, as our adversaries in China advertise their military like this, as Russia runs similar endorsements. Meanwhile, America was focused on a military with two moms.
Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. And after meeting with an army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength, and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way.
Sometimes even running ops betraying the military like this.
Female soft operator who's been serving with the Secret Tactical Division for 19 years now. Over the years, I've learned a lot about gear. What works, what doesn't work, what's gonna straight up get you and your boys killed.
And I've actually done 2 videos a year apart on how the Psychological Operations Command conveniently looks the other way for her to advertise the army with an e-girl. But it's pretty interesting how the military doesn't need to stoop to using pretty girls to portray serving in a positive light when all they needed to do was focus on masculinity as opposed to diversity. Because masculinity isn't exclusive to men. I know several women in the military that have masculine traits, and they're the exact type of person that belongs in the armed forces. And just as expected, a return to traditional values has recruitment through the roof.
As of yesterday, we were close to 6,400 soldiers enlisting in the month of January. So really good. So we're very happy with that.
So no matter where you are politically, having a strong, well-staffed military should be seen as a good thing. But in an effort to mitigate Trump's wins, the media is not only framing this as a bad thing, they're actually trying to downplay veteran status. As ESPN's Stephen A. Smith dismisses Major Pete Hegseth's military experience.
And Pete Hegseth, oh my God, the nerve of him to just join into the fray and give his quote about making sure qualified people have these jobs. You're the defense secretary, whose only job prior to this was as a weekend host on Fox News.
And MSNBC's Rachel Maddow laughs off Lieutenant Colonel Tulsi Gabbard's.
All Republicans in the Senate voted tonight to advance the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard to be Director of National Intelligence. It's like saying that I could be a defensive lineman on the Philadelphia Eagles. Sure.
Hegseth and Gabbard were 3 and 2 steps away from general, but somehow that equates to nothing in the media's minds. Which really makes me wonder, do they really disrespect our country's veterans that much, or are they simply too stupid to look into their histories and only see Trump appointee, so like a bull seeing red on their head, they mindlessly charge in? But the media isn't like a bull in a china shop, they're more like a bull bought by China shop. And if you appreciate alliteration over my concise, light order commentary on how America's finally back, hopefully I've earned your subscription and we can chat again soon.